In this video you will find why China's economy is falling, what are the factors behind it, and how it's gonna affect the whole world. After doing research about the past few years' incidents, I came up with the two major policies that forced the second largest economy in the world to the edge of bankruptcy. Those policies were zero COVID and three red lines. Moving on, I found out that out of these two policies, the three red lines were the most intense and destructive to the property market. In fact, they sparked a real estate crash in China. But before going any further, please hit the like button and also don't forget to subscribe because this helps the YouTube algorithm. According to a senior analyst at Autonomous Research, the 30 companies have defaulted with total liabilities of around $1 trillion. The policy restricted the liabilities as follows. The liabilities of builders shouldn't be more than 70% of assets. Net debt shouldn't exceed equity. Cash must be at least equal to short-term borrowings. The policy was a nightmare for the small builders and also for some of the larger builders like Evergrande because of the fear to default. Small builders suffered a lot because they had no money in hand. So they decided to sell their assets to the large firms, but the large firms were unable to get more loans to finance those purchases. You might be considering then why this policy was introduced in the first place. Well, the Chinese property sector was growing at an incredible rate, even greater than the European countries. Because of the social pressure and other concerns to own a home, the population decided to invest their money in the properties that didn't even exist, believing that the property value will rise in the future and we will be able to sell them for profit. But many builders, inspired by this success, started an investment fraud where they will take money from current investors and give it to the previous investor, also known as the Ponzi scheme. For this reason, the builders slowed down their construction activity to keep getting more and more money. The policy was specifically created to target those builders, but unfortunately the policy sparked a real estate crash in China and we saw a huge market chaos in the past few months. The authorities are trying to keep the economy stable by injecting money into the system, but the conditions are still getting worse and worse every day. China accounts for 9.3% of global GDP. If China slows down, the world will slow down. And if the world slows down, then it means there's an alarm for incoming recession.